Hey everybody, this is Dennis from Elgin Network LLC, or the Mad Scientist as my employees call me because of all I do. What I have here today is I'm working on another laptop for a customer of mine, and basically what happened was he had somebody drop it, and basically let me take this off for a second here and show you. They mashed up all this here. So what I had to do is cut this back a little, cut that back, clean it off so it's not sharp, because the metal was all so you couldn't get the HD. Whoops, I'm sorry. Do this again. Alright, so what I had to do is work on this a little bit. I still got some more to do, but what happens was it was all smashed up. The piece that was along here was bent over, so you can't use this HDMI port. So I had to straighten it out a little bit. I still got a little more straightening to do to it once I get the cover put back on. But what happened was it was that, and then there was another piece that was bent. And basically, this is the old cover, and as you can see here, it's bent really bad. And so when you go to pop that down, and it looks really bad, it's putting a lot of pressure on that area and causing issues. So what I ended up doing is I ended up going out and buying a new one. And you know what? I love how when you buy something new, they say it's new, and as you can see right now when I'm showing you, something looks funny in it. It's got a nice bend right there. So I don't know what happened to this. It is not new. So I am talking to the manufacturer I got it from so I can get this replaced. You know, sometimes this is the problem with working on computers. This is probably the biggest headache doing stuff with computers, is buying parts and hoping you get the right part and a good part. These people just don't care what they're giving you. You know, again, if this is new, okay, if this is truly new, I mean, I got a problem with that, okay. And there's no way I'm going to try heating it, and I tried to see if I could pressure it down, but it's got all these bends right here, so it's all way out of bent. So no way I can get this on, and there's no way that I'm going to put this on and give it back to the customer, because that's just not good customer support, because the fact that they're paying for a new one, and it should look a lot better than the old one. So just giving you guys an update on what I'm doing here. The other thing the customer wanted was some more memory, so I added this memory module in here, and so now he's got double the memory, which will make it run better, and it is fairly good. It's still in good shape. Once I get the bottom cover put back on it, I'm going to go in and clean it a little like I do with all of his computers. I run a couple programs, make sure all the cache memory is cleaned out, make sure that the registry is cleaned out and it's optimized, making sure that programs that don't need to start right away when it starts up, to put them in kind of like a pause mode until it's a certain point, and then they come on, so that way your computer boots up faster. You know, you buy a new computer and you open it up and you play with it and you're like, wow, this thing's fast. But then when you start adding programs on, they start slowing it down because they got a lot of stuff that they want to run in the background. And on quite a few of them, they actually want to start a part of the program at the beginning and run in the background. Well, that starts chewing up everything. So if you want all that, that's great. But you're going to want to have a good processor, and you're going to want to have quite a bit of good memory to help compensate for all that stuff that's trying to start up. This one here, this is not a regular replaceable battery. Again, we have to open it up, we have to take the screws out, and then take the battery and unplug it and put a new battery in. So it's not like some of the others where you can take them out and put them in. Hard drives right here. One of the suggestions I'm going to make with him on this is If he wants to do it now, he can. If not, later on, I can do it down the road. He's close to me. Again, I can make it faster by putting a SSD drive in. This also does have, which is nice, this is the M8.2, which is kind of like a flash drive in a way. And what it does is it helps to intermediate between the hardware of the computer and knowing what's going on and the hard drive. So what's happening is hard drive's feeding this, is feeding to here, and it's speeding it up a little bit as far as doing things. So it becomes a little faster. Plus with the memory, that helps. As you can see, most of the computers today or laptops, they're pretty simple. You got your battery here. Okay, here's one of your power controls. Here's the controls for the different drives. This is your Wi-Fi control. Over in here, these parts here, these are power parts and also resistors and capacitors for your USBs. This is a part of the where you charge it right there. And then we have over here, this is the HDMI. So we want to make sure that that's all good. This is a Ethernet. I don't know why they make them like that. That's weird now, but you kind of got to stick it in and it all opens like a jaw, which is kind of weird. You have these right here are power sources for the memory. This stuff around here is the power source for the fan. The CPU, which is right under here. We have a couple things in here, which is the power source. What goes wrong 90% of the time with a laptop is not the memory and is not the CPU. One thing that we have issues with, and that's because you need to keep it clean, and just because of the way they are, fans. When you start seeing a fan making a lot more noises or running high all the time, get it replaced. The reason why is because that's what keeps it cool. The longer it stays cool all the time, the better it is, because it'll keep everything running smooth. It won't crash when it gets too hot. If the CPU gets to a certain temperature, it actually shuts it down. So, you know, again, when we get laptops, computers, whatever in, one of the first things we do is we open it up and we clean them out. That's the first thing we want to do, is clean it out. Number one best thing you can do for a customer. Clean it all out. Clean, if you got the processors on regular PCs with a big fan, clean that real good. Clean all the fan areas real good, because that's where a lot of dirt and dust. Here, some of them have a bigger radiator, so to speak, and you'll see a lot of stuff packed in there. Again, try to air it out, you know, slowly and easily. Use a brush and brush whatever out, because this is, again, what helps keep it cool. And if that's all plugged up, it's not doing its job. So, you know, best thing you can do for your customers or yourself is either twice a year, once a year, however you want to do it. Open it up and just do just a general cleaning. That's what helps. I mean, that helps a lot with keeping everything nice and cool and clean. So that's what we like to do, and then we put everything back in. We make sure all this is good, and then what I do then with the customer's computer is I put certain programs on it, and I get a lot of the junk files out, because that's where a lot of your space is at. There's a lot of hidden junk stuff that's been put in that doesn't get used at all. It just was there when something was initially installed. So, you know, we clean all that out so we get space. If you've upgraded, sometimes you'll see Windows and an old Windows. Well, that old Windows is taking up quite a bit of space. If you're running on the new Windows and you're having problems, then you can use, again, a tool to go in and wipe out the old Windows, so you have 3 to 4 more gig. It doesn't seem like a lot, but when you start adding it up on many different things, you come out with quite a bit of memory. But that's what you want to do. Make sure it's good, clean. Put the cover back on. Turn it over. Do some diagnostics. Make sure everything looks like, there's a lot of programs out there. I use many different ones, so I'm not going to name any specific ones, but I usually just clean out all the temp files and files are not needed. I clean out the registry so that it has no stuff in there just sitting connected to nothing, because again, the computer, its main job is to read through that registry to know what all's there and what's all going on and what all it has to do. Well, if there's a bunch of stuff in there that goes nowhere, you're slowing it down because it has to still read all this stuff. Whether it's there or not, it still has to read it. So when you clean the registry, it takes out all of that. So it slims it down, makes it smaller, and that also gives you more performance. And so you want to clean the registry, get it to the point where there's nothing in there that's an orphan or not matched to anything, and so that helps boot it faster. We also have other different things you could do to it to help out. There's also, and this is more for people who are really okay with their computers, we also have a registry optimization. Now sometimes that there's a problem with that, so all we do is just we go in and do what we can with that and clean up and let it run and save a backup, and once it's done, we run it to the computer again, see if there's any problems. We'll keep rebooting it. The other thing I like to do is plug in a computer, fully charge the battery, then unplug it and see how long the battery lasts, and then plug it back in, let it charge all the way up again, unplug it, see how long it lasts. That way, also you can tell your customers, hey, your battery's starting to go bad, it's not holding as long as it should. Batteries aren't that expensive anymore. I mean, I get batteries for HPs all the time for $13, $15. I mean, it's a wise investment to get a new battery for something that you can use what it was intended for. Don't need to keep it plugged in all the time. That's what hurts the battery. You want the battery to keep going up and down. When you first get a battery, you have to do that. You want to bring it all the way down, bring it all the way back up, bring it all the way down, then bring it all the way back up, because inside batteries there is a type of circuitry that helps it and tells the computer how much time it will work for. It kind of adjusts it and sets it, or programs it in a way. And so that's why when you change them out, you'll see there's instructions on why you have to all the way down, all the way up, all the way down, all the way up. Because I've seen ones where you go all the way down, and then you go to charge them back up, they stop at 50. Like, okay, what the heck's going on? So I unplug it, let it go all the way down again, plug it back in, charge it up again, and now it goes to 100. So it learned that that wasn't the stopping point, it had to go faster or farther. Anyways, those are my tips for today as far as this is concerned. Again, I have some really great, wonderful customers that have been giving me more and more work in these times. This is a shop owner, and I work on his computers at his shop that I got now, and I also work on all of his personal computers. This is his personal laptop, and then he has another PC I'm supposed to pick up to remove a bunch of stuff and clean it up too. So that's something he also wants me to do in the very near future. So anyways, with all that, I just wanted to show you what was going on here, what this looks like, what I've been doing with this project, and pretty much, you know, not a lot to it, but problem is it's taking so much time because the manufacturer gave me a bad part. Now, if this was a good part, I had it yesterday, this thing would have been in his hands today, but unfortunately I couldn't do that. Anyways, guys, thank you very much. I appreciate it, and I will talk to you next time.